Hello and welcome to the Global Poker League and our new strategy segment where we ask our guest host to take us through a hand of interest from the GPL. Joined once again by Mr. Jonathan Little of the Las Vegas Moneymakers. He's going to take us through a hand involving San Francisco Rush player Jonathan Jaffe and his teammate Cody from the Las Vegas Moneymakers. Jonathan, take it away.
All right, so this hand may seem very simple and not too relevant, but this kind of thing is one of the plays that makes Jonathan Jaffe great. So let's take a look at what happens. Jonathan Jaffe gets 6-5 offsuit, certainly not a great hand, but it's playable. You want to be playing a lot of hands heads up. Probably about 85% of your hands, give or take a little bit. If you start playing much tighter than that, you're going to be just playing too tight. So he raises to 1,000. Now Cody decides to call with King-Jack offsuit. He could call, he could 3-bet. I think either play is fine. You'll see some players in the Global Poker League calling, and others will re-raise. So flop comes 9-6-2, two clubs. Cody's going to check. He may or may not be planning to check fold, but he does check. Jonathan Jaffe with middle pair on the flop, though, decides to check behind. This is something you'll also see a lot of the players on the Global Poker League doing, especially with a hand exactly like middle pair, because if you bet and get called when you have middle pair, often your opponent either has some sort of overcards that have plenty of equity, or they have you beat. And if they have you beat, you want to play as small of a pot as possible. And if they're behind, they're usually decently far behind. Like in this case, Cody was drawing to 6 outs. He happens to get there, but by playing and controlling the size of the pot, you make it to where you do not use, it makes it where you don't lose too large of pots. So it turns a king, horrible for Jonathan Jaffe. He may or may not know this. And now it's on Cody. Notice the pot's 2,080. And Cody makes a play here that may have been a mistake against exactly Jonathan Jaffe. So he's giving it some thought. Notice he's thinking for quite a while. And he bets 1,800. So this is a pretty large bet. It's almost the size of the pot. And Jonathan Jaffe's in this scenario where he has the middle pair with no kicker. And at this point, he's probably thinking that Cody, based on his bet size, has either a relatively strong made hand or he has a draw of some sort. So after not much thought at all, Jonathan Jaffe just folds his middle pair. And that seems like a really big fold to me. But this is the kind of thing that Jonathan Jaffe does that allows him to consistently win at heads up sit and goes. I mean, he is one of the best heads up sit and go players in the world, and it's because he gets off the hook very cheaply in these spots. He makes quick folds sometimes, he makes huge call downs sometimes, other times. And it may seem to the casual observer that he does it for no real rhyme or reason, but he's definitely doing it because he understands that Cody in this spot should have an incredibly strong range of either made hands or draws that do quite well versus the bottom pair.
Yep. Seems like a spot where a lot of players, even professionals, would at least see one more card after flopping middle pair. But you know, even though it was a small pot, they really add up over the long term.
Yeah, I mean, right there, he would have put in his money with a very small amount of equity, and he just didn't. He gave away the pot, made the quick fold, and just moved on to the next hand with no problem.
Well, that's all for that hand, folks. Join us next time for the GPL strategy segment. Thank you to our guest this week, Jonathan Little. Join us next time. Adios. Connect with us on social media for league updates and download our app, GPL TV, to stay on top of everything GPL.